Give me something to believe in. Give me something I can hold. If it's secret, let me free it. Let me be so never alone. In the morning, in the evening, in the summer, in the fall, I can see it. Let me free it. Let me love my way through it all. 'Cause my feet won't stop when the sun comes up. When the sun comes up black and white. And the beat won't stop when the business drops. When the business drops, thinking why. Living in a life on fire on Main Street. Knowing what I got to give to go. Living in a life on fire on Main Street. Knowing what I got to give to know. Give me lightning in the shadows.
Welcome everyone to the second annual Orillia Regional Arts and Heritage Awards presentation. We are here at the beautiful Stephen Leacock Museum National Historic Site. The museum is not far from the Narrows, itself a National Historic Site, with a long and enduring history as a gathering place of nations. 5,000 years, perhaps more. This history and culture is a sense of pride for the Orillia area, and I would like to take this moment to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people, specifically the Chippewas of Rama First Nation, the Chippewa Tri-Council, and the Williams Treaties First Nations, covered by the Lake Simcoe Treaty 16 and the John Collins Land Purchase. Tonight's event is about honoring our culture and heritage, and we are dedicated through this work to moving forward together in the spirit of reconciliation and respect for all nations. As you can see, this year is a little different than other years. We are loving our new location and wish you could be here in person as we honor the region's creativity and resiliency. But we understand these are unusual times that require even this committee to pivot and adapt to finding creative ways to forge ahead and celebrate the work of the individuals and organizations that preserve, promote, and cultivate art and history in our communities. For those tuning in for the first time, the ORAH Awards, which is what we like to call them, are a fairly new collaboration between the Orillia District Arts Council and the Orillia Museum of Art and History, with support from the City of Orillia's Community Services Department. That's me. Prior to 2019, OMAH ran its own History Awards, and ODAC hosted its own Arts Awards. However, it soon became clear that the two organizations, which both serve the communities of Rama, Ramera, Oromodante, Severn, and the City of Orillia, could do more together. With the new mantra, "Together we are stronger," they combined forces to create a new awards program, recognizing the valuable contribution that creatives, educators, historians, and event organizers and supporters make to the vibrancy of our communities. As the Manager of Culture for the City of Orillia, it is my absolute pleasure to host tonight's extravaganza. We hope you find it both informative and entertaining. Oh, hey Craig, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Everyone, this is Craig Mainprize. Craig is a multidisciplinary artist from the Orillia area and a former recipient of the Emerging Artist Awards at these very awards. Tonight he is helping me with the presentations, as it wouldn't be a cultural event without some lighthearted entertainment. Thanks, Craig. We'll see you later. So join me in a glass of wine and a bowl of popcorn. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This year, the awards received a record number of nominees. A total of 20 nominations were received across the 5 award categories: 2 in education and the arts, culture and heritage, 4 in emerging artist, 5 in heritage, restoration, renovation, and publication, 3 in arts, culture, or heritage event, and a whopping 6 in the Kennifer Brown Achievement Award category. I can tell you firsthand that the jury had a hard time not giving an award out to each nominee. A big shout out to our jury, who will remain anonymous. Made up of 3 fabulous people from across the sector, they had the rewarding task of exploring the work of each nominee and also the difficult task of narrowing it down to one recipient. Whew, I'm glad that wasn't me. On to the awards. The first award category is Education in the Arts, Culture and Heritage. This award recognizes an educator, not necessarily a teacher by profession, whose knowledge and teaching skills inspire others to pursue their interest in arts and heritage. This year's nominees are Stacy Schatt and Doug Ironside, and the Otter Art Club, run by Naomi Woodman and Travis Schilling. Stacy and Doug have been around since 2012, quietly. Well, actually not so quietly, making their way into Orillia's performing arts scene. First, it was O-Town, an affordable improv group that pushed their nominator, Tammy Dorr, to get up in front of large groups. Improv is a great way to learn to really listen and respond, and a reason why I, too, joined the group, except it was under their new enterprise, the Old Dance Hall Players. This talented group of actors has supported the community with these learning opportunities and various fundraisers for local charities. Stacy and Doug are also members of the Mariposa Arts Theater Board and have helped to strengthen and broaden the local cultural sector, both on stage and in the classroom and behind the scenes. The Otter Art Club, run by Naomi Woodman and Travis Schilling. They started the club in the spring of 2018 in order to provide local youth with regular studio time and access to professional artist materials under the guidance, support, and mentorship of an acclaimed artist and professional photographer. Naomi and Travis offer opportunities to show the kids art at local cafes and in local art shows. They bring in special guests to hone in on particular art form. They engage in multi-week projects just to satisfy creative curiosity. They've gone out of their way to locate unique art supplies and learn framing techniques just to make the kids in the club feel their best about their work. And the envelope, please. Craig? Thank you. And the recipient is the Otter Art Club. Here is Naomi and Travis to say a few words.
Yeah, we'd just like to say thank you for this award. It's greatly appreciated. Otter Art Club, we've been working at this for a few years now, and it's nice to be recognized. Although, you know, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the kids. We're here for the young artists, older artists, people that want to be around what we're doing and what we've been trying to do. What we'd like to do is actually dedicate this award to our dear friend who passed away earlier this year, Jeff Miller. Jeff Miller was one of the great arts educators. He was inspiration. He was a very close friend, one of Orillia's great artists. And he taught us about how important it is to get back to nature, get into nature, and make things. And in our case, you know, we're painting, we're sculpting, we're doing whatever we can to help, you know, nurture the kids and also, you know, find our place, find out who we are, find out what we're all about, find out what nature is all about. And I think Orillia and this area is a very, very important place for all of that. And so again, I think we would like to dedicate it to Jeff Miller, one of Orillia's most important artists. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi and Travis, and congratulations on your award. Wow, now can you see why the jury struggled to narrow it down to just one? And it doesn't get any easier, let me tell you. Up next is the Emerging Artist Award. This award recognizes an individual of any age who is in the early years, under 5 years, of launching a career in the arts. Nominees can be pursuing any genre of art, including but not limited to visual arts, performing arts, literary arts, and many more. This year's nominees are Norman Robert Catchpool, Chief Ladybird, Marta Solik, and Mary Jo Pollock. Norman retired early and moved to Orillia in early 2020, where he quickly became known in the local art scene. Norman's work is varied, bright, colorful, and detailed, and his creations are generally on a large-scale format. His extraordinary ability allows him to paint anything from wildlife to pin-up girls, group of seven works, cityscapes, countryside, and portraits. Norman's unique talent to successfully paint and capture the essence of his subjects will become well known and respected in the future art community of Orillia and beyond. Chief Ladybird is a force to be reckoned with, both within her community of Rama and the larger community of followers that she reaches through her various social media platforms. She is an artist, an illustrator, an accomplished muralist, an educator, and an activist. She uses her artwork as a powerful platform to bring to light her experiences as an Indigenous woman. With seemingly endless determination and confidence, she never shies away from addressing the topics that are most important to her. Marta Solik. Marta is a multi-instrumentalist. She graduated from Krakow Academy of Music, specializing in both cello and Polish world knee fiddles, and is the first in the world to hold a master's degree in world music knee fiddles. Marta started her musical career in Canada in March of 2019. Carving out a niche within the industry can be difficult at best. However, Marta was also quite new to Canada. She and her husband immigrated from Poland in 2017 and moved to Orillia shortly after that. To help her along the way, she participated in Emergence, a program dedicated to help newcomers and emerging artists with resources they need, and it looks like she did. In 2 short years, she has immersed herself in Ontario, in the Ontario music scene, including the Huronia Symphony Orchestra, Richmond Hill Philharmonic Orchestra, the Cellar Singers, Orillia Vocal Ensemble, and there's more. She's taught in numerous communities between here and the GTA and has a budding enterprise teaching cello at the Orillia Music Center. Mary Jo Pollock. Since she moved to Orillia a few years ago, MJ, as some of us refer to her as, has been very active in the arts scene. She has participated in many art shows, including being guest artist a few times in Hibernation Arts. She has also been a mainstay of the Orillia Fine Arts Association Executive Board. MJ has developed a few different styles of painting, most recently using metallic paint, capturing Ontario landscapes. She's also developing great skill as a photographer, notably of Lake Couchiching. And those are our nominees. Craig, the envelope, please. Thank you, Craig. Weren't you the recipient of this award last year?
Yes, I was.
Well, this year's recipient will be in good company. And the recipient is Marta Solik. Now let's hear from Marta.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marta Solik, and I am beyond words. I'm very happy and thank you for this nomination. I want to say thank you to my wonderful husband who nominated me and who is always there for me and always supported me. I also want to thank you, the beautiful community of Orillia. I want to say big thank you to Blair Bailey, to Andrew Woodwill from Orillia Music Center, to all Orillia Music Center team, Cellar Singers, Orillia Vocal Ensemble, also Jonathan from Small World who helped me and write the recommendation for me. I am a new immigrant to Orillia. I came here from Poland. And from the first day I moved here, I was so much welcomed, and I am so grateful and happy to be part of this beautiful artistic community and have my input in this. I am coming from Poland, the country which disappeared for 150 years from the map, and our culture survived only because of music. During this time when Poland was torn apart from different countries, we had Chopin, the famous composer, and he was basing his music on folk music from Poland. This is the instrument he was listening to when he was composing his waltzes and his all music. And why am I saying this? We are in a very difficult times now. We are all struggling, and I just want to say to please support the culture. Don't forget about music. Don't forget about musicians, because music is something that make us more human, something that brings us together, something that gives us hope and love, something that we can all share and be better humans. So please support each other in this difficult time. Support music, support artists, support musicians. And thank you again for this beautiful award. I feel honored and privileged and very happy to be part of Orillia. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta, and congratulations. This next award recognizes an individual or group who brought to life regional history through a physical restoration or creation of a permanent public record. This year's nominees for the Heritage Restoration, Renovation, and Publication Award are Carolyn Leclerc of Elite Printing, Sarah Picard, Marcel Rousseau, Ron and Aaron Harrison, and Dave Town. So let me start with Carolyn. Printing is an art form, and one that has numerous implications for the arts community at large. An eye for detail, as well as for presentation, is essential. As such, publishing homegrown tomes carries a responsibility to be true to the locale. Besides books, Elite prepares and completes prints of local artwork. Carolyn Leclerc has the unique capacity of professionalism imbued with a genuine desire to see the personal success of her clientele. Elite has provided a high level of publishing service to many local historians and genealogists. Without the access to a reasonably priced and supportive printer, most of the historical stories and pamphlets would never have been produced. The loss would have made Orillia's history fade from memory. Sarah Picard and the Sawbones Society. The Sawbones Society are a group of writers, actors, and creatives who have grown up having summer jobs at the Coldwater Canadiana Heritage Museum. Now young adults, some in university, they put their skills to work to breathe new life into the museum and make it relevant to their generation. They are the future of this cultural institution. In 2019, the Sawbones Society developed historical guided walking tours as part of the Coldwater Steampunk Festival programming for the museum. In 2020, when the kids heard the museum would be closed this year due to COVID-19, they were devastated as they work all year on their costumes and turn-of-the-century research in anticipation of the Steampunk Festival. Quick thinking, Sarah Picard asked the museum board if they could perhaps film the walking tours they had developed. Permission was granted and the Sawbones Society was born. Marcel Rousseau. When you need to know something about Orillia, Marcel is your go-to guy. From his time publishing postcard memories of Orillia, working in the archives of the Orillia Museum of Art and History, or at the Orillia Public Library, he has gained an enormous appreciation for and knowledge of the area's local history. He brings this knowledge to life both online and in many published records. He posts weekly, if not more, to the Facebook group, If You Grew Up in Orillia, conjuring up emotions and memories from bygone days by followers. His work on Camp 26 has helped bring awareness to this military training facility, stationed right here in Orillia during World War II. These days you can find Marcel in the archive room of the Orillia Public Library. Ron and Ann Harrison. Ann and Ron Harrison have been lifelong advocates and practitioners of deepening the understanding of local and Canadian history, and have helped to share their knowledge of the Underground Railroad movement, Black settlement in Canada, and related facts, so that their knowledge reaches the local community and the wider community. Ann and Ron have shared their passion. Ann and Ron have shared their personal research via connections to and participation in many clubs and groups. They stay informed with the activities of many of the most important history researchers in Canada. Dave Town. Dave Town is another local who knows a lot about a lot of things and is not afraid to expose difficult and challenging topics from our history. His books include tales of riots, sport figures, Orillia's red light district, community leadership, and the inequitable treatment of First Nations peoples. He helped research and execute Orillia's Greatest Athlete debate in 2015, a title won by Walter Henry. I had the privilege of working with him on this project and a storyboard for the former YMCA at St. James Court. He's also the driving force behind much of the archives at the local YMCA. And these are your nominees. This group definitely has the area's history covered, but there can only be one winner. Craig, the envelope, please. Craig! Thank you, you're awesome. And this year's recipient is Sawbones Society. We will hear from Sarah Picard.
Thank you very much to the ODAC and the ORAH jury for this award. I'm grateful for the honor and the recognition of the work that the Sawbones Society has done in bringing history to life. It is by no means work that I could have done on my own. To begin with, I would like to thank the director of the Coldwater Steampunk Festival, Susie Burtonshaw, without whom this award and the Sawbones Society as a whole would not have been possible. Even though we killed her off in the very first episode, it was with her bureaucratic, financial, and emotional support that we were able to bring our series to life. Next, I would like to thank two individuals who have clocked even more hours than I have. First is my sister, Emily Pickard, who not only plays the beautiful Nurse Clariform, but is also our art director. Even though she doesn't say a lot on screen, off screen, she can always be counted on to tend to every meeting, reading, and sweltering day in the sun manning a booth. And while Dr. Morphine certainly wouldn't thank Mr. Ether for anything, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Dan Ford, who is not only the best actor on the show, but our director of photography. It was without his help, people would not be coming up to us and saying, you know, your series is actually pretty good. Which is a quote from my dad, by the way. So, thanks, Dad. Of course, I would like to thank the rest of the Sawbones Society, cast and crew, to Melissa, Shaylee, Marshall, and everyone else who answered my frantic texts at 6 in the morning. Thank you so much. What we have accomplished with no budget and no time is truly remarkable, and I cannot wait to work with all of you as we move into season 2. Finally, I would like to thank the Coldwater Canadian Heritage Museum for allowing us to film on their property during a pandemic. It was truly an honor to bring the Woodrow homestead to life and to create a permanent record of it. Again, on behalf of myself and the Sawbones Society Cottage Hospital, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Sarah, and congratulations to Sawbones Society. Okay, is it just me, or can this event get any more suspenseful? I am literally sweating bullets in anticipation of each award recipient. So many deserving organizations and individuals. People often ask me what makes Orillia such a cultural mecca, aside from its natural beauty. And I say it's the people. Creativity attracts creativity, and what better place to find inspiration than amongst people and organizations like these? The city's beauty is also a wonderful backdrop for events, which is our next award category. The Event in the Arts, Culture, and Heritage Award recognizes an individual, organization, or corporation for their part in organizing a single or annual event that showcases the region's creative talent or cultural heritage. This year's nominees are Michael Martin and the Essential Concert Series, Kevin Gangloff and Roots North, and Dick Johnson and Take a Vet to Dinner. The Essential Concert Series was created early during the COVID pandemic as both a fundraiser for the Orillia Soldiers Memorial Hospital, as well as to give a venue for local performing artists to showcase their talents to a broader audience, and frankly, to help create a venue where none existed at the time. The series started as a single iPhone video and evolved to 3 different cameras, sophisticated editing on the fly during the live stream, including live sound editing. The results were spectacular and easily outstripped even the most high-end A-lister live streams during these pandemic times. The 13 concert series raised over $3,000 for Orillia Soldiers Memorial Hospital Foundation. Kevin Gangloff and Roots North revisited it, and all. In recent years, Kevin has worked on fundraising events such as the Roots North Music Festival Revisited, which this year alone raised $13,000 for youth, as well as the array of Valise 705 Forever initiatives, ranging from dinner and a show to an all-ages concert which showcased local musical talent. Not only are those in attendance moved by the success of events Kevin spearheads, but those in need of extra support are assisted with the funds generated. As a result of Kevin's hard work, the Orillia Youth Center is now home to a youth-focused, barrier-free, professional music studio, which commemorates 2 tragic lives lost. Dick Johnson and Take a Vet to Dinner. Dr. Johnston is the originator of the Take a Vet to Dinner annual event. Dick's idea was to ensure local war veterans, both active and retired, were recognized and celebrated in a unique way, separate from Remembrance Day for their service to our country in conflicts ranging from World War I to Afghanistan. As a result of the annual Take a Vet to Dinner, which began in 2004, where veterans and their partners were treated to dinner and entertainment. The last event held was October 26, 2019, and it was the 15th anniversary of an annual event that is sold out every year. And those are your nominees. Craig, the envelope, please. Craig?
He's coming!
I love that guy. Thanks, Craig. And this year's recipient is Kevin Gangloff and Roots North Revisited. We will now hear from Kevin.
Incredibly grateful to have been nominated this year and to be accepting the award in the events category from the Orillia Regional Arts and Heritage Awards Committee. First, I'd like to congratulate Michael Martin in the Essential Concert Series and Dick Johnson in the Take a Vet to Dinner, both being nominated in the same category this year. Both tremendous community advocates and community events that have taken place. These events and this nomination doesn't happen with one person, and I said it's gratifying to be recognized, but it's also pertinent that I mention the fact that without Steve Orr and Dapper Depot Menswear, none of what I've been able to accomplish over the last number of years is possible. Steve has been a tremendous supporter of everything that we've done at the Orillia Youth Center and everything that I've been involved with. He's been a sponsor, a presenting sponsor, a supporter, a ticket seller, an attendee, and just an advocate. So without Steve, this doesn't happen. So thank you so much, Steve. To Mark Webster, everything that you do for our events makes it professional, makes it top-notch, and without you, again, these events don't come off as they do. They don't come off looking and sounding as professional and as excellent as you make it, Mark. So thank you. To Ethan Mask, you've been there every single event. You've run a bunch of these events and also been volunteered to make them happen. So thank you so much, Ethan, and to the staff at the Youth Center as well, too. Thank you for everything that you do, because again, without you, these events and these events that happen to support the Youth Center don't take place. You guys run the Youth Center 7 days a week and also support these events. So thank you so much. And finally, to Sarah Duffy and Art Project, and actually the Roots North Music Festival Committee, because again, these events that we've been recognized for this past year sort of have evolved over the years to support the Youth Center, but better to support our community. We've been able to raise over $50,000 over the last couple of years, 100% of which has gone back into supporting youth and specifically targeting arts and creativity and opportunities for youth, which are all 100% free of charge. So without these events, without the community support and people buying in, they don't happen. So thank you very much, everyone, and very grateful to have been nominated and to be accepting this award.
Thank you, Kevin, and congratulations. Our final juried award is the Kennifer Brown Achievement Award. This award recognizes an individual or group of individuals who have made an outstanding contribution to the cultural life of their community. It was named in honor of Kennifer Brown, who gave much of herself to support both arts and heritage organizations within the region. This year's nominees are Ross Rusty Draper, Molly Farkinson, Roy Mena, Phil Jackman, Guy Orion, and Will McGarvey. First, Ross Rusty Draper. Many Orillians have no difficulty recalling Rusty and his homespun, somewhat corny musings while a personality at CFOR. His memoir, Put the Kettle On, Honey, I'm Coming Home, is a gem. In it, Rusty brings a depth and breadth to life in Orillia as seen through the eyes of one of its most persistent fans. The memoir is a significant link to many of the events and experiences of Orillia over several decades. Molly is the owner of a local art gallery, Hibernation Arts, located in the heart of the Arts District in Orillia. Not only does Molly exhibit visual artists, but she has hosted a series of poetry readings and intimate concerts by local musicians. As well, Molly has regularly provided much-needed meeting space for several arts groups, such as the Orillia Fine Arts Association, the Orillia Public Art Committee, and the Orillia District Arts Council. Molly has been an active and vocal member of all of those groups, and she has been instrumental in organizing a number of community arts events, such as the Art Walks that were held every second Friday this summer. Roy Manah. Roy personifies an individual devoted to enhancing, advocating for, and contributing to the Orillia and area cultural community. A founding member and facilitator of the Orillia Cultural Roundtable, Roy encouraged local artistic stakeholders to be involved in decisions that would shape their future. As the chair of the Orillia Performing Arts Forum for many years, Roy's voice could be heard encouraging policies and practices to give local groups financial accessibility to this wonderful municipal facility. Roy's vision that local businesses in the arts community can work together to benefit our local charities was pioneered by the Orillia Vocal Ensemble, Orillia's Pay It Forward choir. Roy's vision has always been Together We Are Stronger. Other events Roy spearheaded included the many annual joint effort concerts in support of the Soldiers Memorial Hospital at the Orillia Opera House, the Tsunami Relief Concert, which Roy conducted and produced, the Syrian Relief Concert, which Roy conducted and produced, the fundraising efforts of the Orillia Vocal Ensemble, a group which, under his leadership and direction over the past 10 years, has raised in excess of $200,000 for local charities. As an ardent and active fundraiser and champion of the St. Paul Center, Roy contributed to the accessible state of the art venue that we now are proud to showcase. Roy was the first cultural chair for Ontario's Lake Country, recognizing the impact of local culture on tourism. Phil Jackman. Phil became a volunteer at OMAH in 2014 and has been steadfast in his multiple contributions in relation to multimedia support to drive awareness and engagement with the Orillia and surrounding area, especially during these recent COVID times. He has contributed to OMAH's graphic design service, creating promotional material for events such as the Sir John A. Macdonald Dinner and the annual Franklin Carmichael History Lecture. OMAH's social media presence benefits from his dedication to update regularly with new and relevant content. His journalist background has also been put to good use as he is the editor of the Muse News. Phil has used his technical expertise to not only film 17 videos for OMAH's virtual exhibit, Why Am I Here?, but also videotaped and uploaded presentations made as part of the Orillia History Committee speaker series, transforming them to an e-speaker series, widening OMAH's online reach and enabling Orillians to not miss out on the monthly content provided by this committee. Gaia. Gaia is a remarkable individual who has achieved what most artists only dream of. She has studied her craft well beyond its technical boundaries because her art is an integral part of her life. There is no delineation between Gaia the individual and Gaia the artist. She is refreshingly authentic as a woman, a mother, an entrepreneur, and as an incredible artist. Gaia's creativity, her message, is the outcome of a life lived with conscious intention, integrity, and a profound connection to nature. Will McGarvey. Will McGarvey spearheaded the Orillia Community Arts Festival in the early 80s. It was held at the Lions Oval Community Center, featuring fine arts, music, dance, and more. He coordinated artists participating in the Kiwanis Art Auction to raise money for the new YMCA. He got local artists to donate their works, but making sure they received a tax receipt and a percentage of the sale. He provided his art images for several years for the Leacock Festival, the Orillia Blues Festival, Lakehead University, and the Mariposa Folk Festival. He was one of the founding members of the Sir Sam Steele Art Gallery that later evolved into OMAH. He served on the board several times on the SAG. He was one of the original members and organizers of the Huronia Cultural Campus with Charles Pachter and Fred Larson and others. It is humbling to learn of the full impact these individuals have had on our community over the years. The opportunity to know and work with these individuals is truly one of the greatest privileges of my job. For that, I thank you and all the nominees. I'm also thankful to both Bob and Kennifer Brown for inspiring this award with their countless hours supporting both arts and heritage within the region. Bob Brown would have liked to have been here in person to present the award, but we'll be tuning in instead like you. With that, the envelope, please. That tune. Thanks, Craig. And this year's recipient is Roy Manaugh. We will now hear from Roy.
How did I get here? This is a surreal moment for me. I'm overwhelmed to be honored in this way. Thank you so much. And isn't this just the strangest experience, that is, to be receiving an award virtually? We are living in interesting times and almost all performing arts are shut down. First, I want to say how flattered I am to be in this category, which honors Kennifer Brown, who chose to live in Orillia and contributed so much to the cultural life of our community. Also, to be among the other nominees in this category, Will, Rusty, Molly, Gaia, and Phil, who have all made such important contributions in making Orillia a culturally special place. The Orillia District Arts Council and the Orillia Museum of Art and History are very important organizations in our city. I encourage interested people to join these groups, which enhance the creative life in our community and promote appreciation for our local history and culture. I am very aware that these awards represent the efforts of many wonderful creative people in Orillia, Ramera, Rama, Oro-Medonte, and Severn townships. As I say, how did I get here? Over the past 25 years, I've been privileged to meet many amateur and professional performing artists in solo performances, choirs, instrumental ensembles, and musical shows. The 11 annual joint effort concerts that supported Soldiers Memorial Hospital and the 2 years of Orillia Performs concerts that supported local charities, including the Syrian Refugee Committee, were very special collaborations of multiple performance groups in the region. One notable evening was the OPAF concert to benefit the Mariposans for Syrian Refugee Committee on November the 3rd, 2015. Which incidentally was 5 years prior to the day of the US election, where $30,000 was raised for our Syrian refugee family. My, how our world has changed since then. Other special fundraisers were collaborations with Orillia performing artists for the benefit of victims of the tsunami and the Haitian earthquake, where so many lives were lost so far away. The generosity of citizens of Orillia raised many tens of thousands of dollars for organizations and individuals far less privileged than we are. The last 10 years of fundraising by the Orillia Vocal Ensemble for community charities is as a result of partnerships of generous businesses and artists in Orillia. There is one very common feature in all this work by so many creative people. It is that every concert or event, there has been a high level of collaboration in the work to produce these programs. The contributions of various boards, volunteers, and administrators like Anna Proctor and Carol Benedetti, by the way, thank you, Carol, for the wonderful nomination, who facilitated collaborations, were key factors to the success of every concert. No one group or individual worked alone. We learned that in Orillia performing arts sector, we are so much stronger working together. The fact is that programs are artistically richer, more money was raised, and it was much more fun to produce and perform. I would like to share this honor with all those hardworking people who created environments of creativity and benefited so many people. Thank you to AccuTrack Capital Solutions and the City of Orillia's Community Service Department for supporting this night of celebration, and particularly OMAH and ODAC for their recognition of this creative effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy, and congratulations. Finally, it didn't seem right to leave without recognizing the year for what it was, challenging. Faced with regulations and closures for many months, the industry has had a difficult and trying year to say the least. Yet there are many signs of resiliency and glimmers of hope despite the devastating effects of COVID-19. Tonight's awards ceremony is a great example of such resiliency. With a record number of nominations this year, it would seem our communities were eager to celebrate the sector's accomplishments despite the pandemic. And we are thankful to those who took the time to nominate those recognized today. There are also the amazing initiatives that have come out of the pandemic. Out-of-the-box thinking is something those in the arts and heritage are good at. No, we're great at. Forced to reimagine how we do business, the industry has made fundamental shifts that many feel will become a part of our new norm, like pivoting online, such as today. For this reason, the awards organizing committee felt compelled to establish the Pivot Award. Unique to 2020, the award recognizes an organization or organizations for their shift and decisive steps to reinvent themselves for the benefit of the community in response to COVID-19. While there are many who have done this, the committee felt no organization did this as well as our two libraries, the Orillia Public Library and Ramera Public Library. In March of this year, a state of emergency was declared in our region due to the pandemic that shook our lives. However, our libraries rose to the challenge, and within weeks, there were Zoom planning meetings and ideas set in motion, despite the doors being closed to the public. For instance, the Orillia Public Library developed a dazzling array of digital services, along with a supportive opening message. While our building may be closed, your library is still here for you. We've got you covered. Curbside pickup was soon implemented at both libraries. As the pandemic grew longer and larger, communication became increasingly important to answer the constant public emails. So with all hands on deck, everyone at the Ramera Public Library shared in this responsibility. Online resources grew and ranged from auto repair to society and culture, and all within the challenges of rural internet service. For both, personal protective equipment became everyday language, and local businesses were enlisted to ensure safety for all. Even library fines were excused to help people weather the pandemic and find the joy in reading. At this time, I would like to give both libraries the mic.
Thank you so much for selecting Ramera Township Public Library for the new Pivot Award. I am honored and delighted to accept this on behalf of the Board of Directors and the library team. Due to the pandemic, the library had to rethink how we delivered some of our services and all of our programs literally overnight. The library team participated in many educational webinars, put on their creative hats, thought outside the box, and began delivering virtual library programs and services. We suddenly went from in-house Friday morning story times to developing online story hours, escape rooms, monthly contests, online summer reading programs, virtual book clubs, online memberships, and then curbside pickup, and the list goes on. Staff undeniably demonstrated their resilience and ability to make positive changes very quickly to meet the needs of our community. I would also like to congratulate all of the other award recipients and thank the Orillia District Arts Council, the Orillia Museum of Arts and History, the City of Orillia, and the organizing committee for hosting the 2020 Orillia District Arts and Heritage Awards and for selecting Ramera Township Public Library for its inaugural Pivot Award.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Orillia District Arts Council for creation of the Pivot Award, and a sincere thank you to awarding it to the Orillia Public Library and also to the Ramera Public Library, who is also a great community library. The library staff and I appreciate the recognition this award gives to the importance of community engagement, and especially community engagement during a pandemic. The award celebrates and highlights the dedication, skills, flexibility, creativity, and innovation of the staff, who quickly pivoted to ensure the community continued to have outstanding library services. Communication was a priority. We made use of all communication channels and platforms to let people know about library services, make sure they were aware of what we're doing and when we're open. Our staff's priority was to continue to find ways to interact both with our library members and with the wider community. We created an electronic resource membership, which brought in 450 new members and allowed access to all our online resources. We made sure that we suspended all fines and stopped all blocks so that nobody would have any barriers to using our online resources. Our board also put some money that we get from our book sales towards increasing the availability of online resources like ebooks, e-audiobooks, and movies. Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook were all used to offer virtual programs from our staff's home offices. Looking for ways for our families and communities to interact, we developed an extremely popular weekly trivia night and also a weekly game night. People use these to meet up with other family members and other friends, people who weren't in their households, they could connect with in a virtual environment. Family department staff were busy helping parents who were trying to survive homeschooling. They were providing online help for the resources and also providing individual help for reading. Our 3D printer was used to print PPE, including face shield parts and mask extenders, which we printed for the wider community, wider hospital community, but as well as for Orillia Soldiers Memorial Hospital. The family department also managed to offer a unique version of the Summer Readers Club, really unique in all the library world, where the TD Summer Readers Club was offered with curbside reporting and readers advisory station. Children received full support and a safe contactless meeting. Sometimes the first time they got out to a community event since the pandemic started, they came in costumes and their best clothes. Technology help and how to use our online resources also was a really hot item over the closure period, and even still remains hot, with staff working from home and helping people with their technology problems. We facilitated local meetups with weekly musicians, open mic nights, highlighted the library art collection, with art tours. This great service that this award recognizes is really possible because of our great community-focused staff who constantly looked for new and original ways of delivering service to the community. So I'd just like to reiterate, they were really excited and really happy to receive the Pivot Award, and thank Orillia District Arts Council for recognizing the staff and the community engagement we work on.
Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Be sure to support our creative community this holiday season. We do hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll take a moment to also congratulate all of our nominees. Many thanks to AccuTrack Capital Solutions, who have generously supported this event for the past 3 years. Thank you, Craig, for sharing your music with us. The opening song is an original main prize entitled Life on Fire. Finally, thank you to our film crew, Night Vision, our jury, our nominators, OMAH, ODAC, and of course you for watching. Thank you.